Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Cancer, Sun, Moon or Rising, and it's the weekly reading for the week of September the 30th to October the 6th. Your cards this week, Cancer, you have the Trust the Niggle Oracle card. You have the Seven of Cups, the Five of Cups, the King of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles. So I'm just going to begin here with reading out your Oracle card, Cancer. Trust the Niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? The niggling feeling, that annoying niggling feeling, that inconvenient annoying niggling feeling. Try as you might, it's there, and it's not going anywhere. Most people spend years ignoring their niggling feelings, throwing their best dollops of stubbornness, ego, and post-rationalization to numb them out. It's exhausting, and until you face the niggle, life just throws you more bait to awaken it. To draw your attention to the light within you that is bursting to come out. The niggle is an arrow pointing to what is standing in your way, the relationship, the conversation, the decision, the shift that needs to be made, the stone in your shoe. So this week, Cancer, time for you to tune in. What is your niggling feeling? What is, that feeling in your gut, your heart, trying to tell you? And it will be different for all of you, but if there is something that doesn't sit right with you, really the universe is saying that it's destined timing this week for it to be addressed, for it to come to a completion. And sometimes the universe, it sends us small signs along the way, and if we ignore those signs, that's when we can get a tower moment. So we really want to deal with things in divine timing, release when it's time to release, so that we don't end up in a situation where we're propelled into chaos by the universe. And it does that because it's in our highest good to get us back on our life path. But we really want to ebb and flow with the natural rhythms of life. So let's start in your past position here, Five of Cups and Seven of Cups. So both of these cards, by the way, are everywhere at the moment. I think I've pulled the Five of Cups for about 3 readings already this week. Seems to be a really big theme at the moment with releasing and purging of the past. That's what the energies of the universe at the moment are asking us to do, so that we can ascend, so we can move on to bigger and better things, so we can be truly abundant. Now, the Seven of Cups for me is my Hollow Promises card. So, think about a situation where you might have been promised the world but delivered little. Maybe that's what that niggling feeling is, that feeling of like, oh, well, this person keeps dangling the carrot but not delivering. It doesn't sit right with you. Is it that relationship that the person said, oh, if we get together, I'll work on that habit, that self-destructive habit, or I'll change, I'll do this for you, I'll take you out a lot, we'll travel together, we'll build a future together, but is never really putting in the time, the energy and effort to do those things? Is it the work situation, the job that promised, for you to be able to have promotions, to move up in the company, but you haven't had that yet? Maybe you were promised a pay review, a pay rise, and that hasn't happened either. That would be a hollow promise. It can be all of those sorts of situations that promise us great gifts, abundance, but it's always held in arm's reach and it's unattainable. It's that feeling of not being able to grasp it. And I feel like for a period of time you've hung in there and you've really focused on that. But I think ultimately it kept on feeling like a feeling of loss for you. It's because you'll get to the point potentially where you were told it's going to happen now. You're going to get that pay rise, you're going to get that promotion, we're going to go on that trip, I'm going to change that thing, and then it didn't happen, and you were just still left looking at empty cups. Or cups that are just, have the hollow promises in it. But, these cups here, they are empty because what was in them has already left. It's already soaked into the earth. There's no way of getting it back into those cups. Losses are losses. And, through focusing on them and staying attached to those losses of the past, you've been in that state of negativity, maybe encloaked in a sense of grief. For some of you, it could even be a feeling of depression. And by staying in that, it holds us stuck. and also stops us from seeing those perfectly good opportunities that are actually right behind us. And when we stay connected to past people, situations, and things, we maintain an energetic cord to them, which means that we're still connected to them. We're still feeding them energetically. We're still tuned into them. And that can stop us from actually, allowing other things into our lives. It can also mean that when you do attract things into your life, you can be still attracting from this place here. So you might attract other situations where you're repeating this pattern and attracting in somebody else that's giving you hollow promises, and repeating the cycle. So we want to purge it, we want to release it, we want to let go, and we want to change ourselves energetically, so then we can have the space, the clearing for higher frequency opportunities to come in for us. That's what I'm sensing. So tune in this week, Cancer. What's your niggle? What's that situation for you that you need to purge? That's, been promising a lot, but delivering little to you. It will be different for each one of you as a general reading. Now, this week, I think, is when it all comes to a head, though, Cancer. Wheel of Fortune and Ten of Swords. So if this doesn't say completion, I'm not too sure what does. 10, two completion numbers, strong here. What's worrying, here is that we have a definite, movement here from a progression, somebody who might have been feeling negative, feeling down, feeling a little bit depressed, to somebody who's feeling actually completely defeated. I think you've kind of got to the stage where you can't take this anymore. That Ten of Swords, it can also be a situation of stress actually manifesting into adrenal fatigue or chronic ongoing fatigue for some of you. Some of you might have been betrayed in this situation, stabbed in the back. You're really feeling weighed down, like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, and that's why we've got to end this. We've got to release it, because it's really, holding you in that stuck situation. But there's a real promise here. Look at this new bright dawn that's on the horizon, ready to eclipse the darkness. It's the real promise that once you release this situation, it's going to be quick. The energetic shift is going to be quick, and it's going to be really bright and abundant. Now, the Wheel of Fortune says that it's predestined timing for this to happen, Cancer. It also says that It also says that the karmic contract is complete. So that means that you've learnt what you needed to learn from the situation. My belief is that we come into this life with certain contracts of things we need to experience, people we need to meet and go through a lesson with in order to evolve our spirit. And once the lesson has been learned, it's important to recognize that and leave and end and release the situation when the timing is right, so we can move on to our next challenge and we can keep on growing and evolving. Otherwise, we can stay stuck. Otherwise, we can get sick, that kind of thing. We can stagnate. But the Wheel of Fortune says it's, you've learned what you needed to learn. It's time to end the contract. The wheel wants to spin for you. It wants to change your luck. And divine timing is here. So it is a big completion that's going on. So you must trust that niggling feeling. It's time for you to release it, to bring it to a head this week. Okay, because after you bring that to completion, it's all about forward movement. And look at the, the bright sunniness of these cards. This literally is this new dawn eclipsing the darkness. So we'll start here with the King of Wands. I think as soon as you release that situation, that's when you can actually have forward vision in your life. It's almost the opposite of this Five of Cups. Five of Cups is somebody who's shrouded in darkness, looking towards the past, whereas the King of Wands is somebody who is, passionate and fiery and looking towards the future. He's a visionary. He can also, command his empire. He can shape his world. He can call the shots. He's sitting in a throne of power. So I think that by releasing this situation, you will come into your seat of power, and you'll feel, for a start, for the first time in a long time, that you're able to actually create a new vision for your life. And you're going to feel passionate, you're going to feel passionate again for the first time in a long time. You're ready for a new adventure. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles is somebody who can not only, look after the home realm, and be nurturing and compassionate in the home, but she can also go out and earn the money. She's so self-sufficient. She's also, earthly and practical and grounded. It can be about taking practical steps and making solid plans. So, what practical steps do you need to take this week in order to bring this to completion and then get on with your life? It could also be an earth sign female, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus coming into your life to help guide you through this situation, to help nurture you. Could be a mother-in-law, an older sister, or somebody in a mentorship position in your life. And then we also have the Nine of Pentacles. So I love the Nine of Pentacles crowning this reading here, Cancer, because Nine of Pentacles is my, self-sufficiency card. I think that once you release the situation, you'll realize that, you didn't need that job, that relationship. You didn't need what you were promised. You actually didn't even need that because you're quite capable of achieving that all yourself. And it's also about you coming into a place of valuing yourself again as well, realizing that you have all the tools to create your own abundance, to feel luxurious, to feel beautiful again. That Nine of Pentacles, she really is the pinnacle of, self-sufficiency and success, earthly success. So I think, you are trending in the right direction. This is what's on offer for you, Cancer, if you can just allow that ending to come in. And that starts with trusting that niggle and then taking action on it. So that's what I have for you this week, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I wish you all the best with it. It's obviously a really big shift that's happening for some of you this week, keeping in mind that it's a general reading, so it won't be for all of you. Leave me a comment. Love to know how it's playing out in your daily life, and I'll meet you back here next week for another reading.